Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to one and all, wherever you happen to be. This is Ben Wustenberg. I'm your host here on BTC-TV, Channel 3, on Scribbler. That's a mouthful. Okay, I got a haircut. You like it? Yeah, it's good enough. It works, whatever. I'm late today. It's 2:30 Friday, and I get this done by Wednesday. I try to avoid Thursdays because the yardsmen are here. But I had to go to the emergency yesterday. The doctor sent me there. It wasn't an emergency. I was there for 5 hours just so they could tell me that I have 2 fractured bones in my foot, which is why it's swelling up for some strange reason. But here's the weird part. They asked me when I first got it, or whatever you want to call it. I said, well, my ankle started swelling up when it was COVID. And the guy just looked at me and said, what? He said, that was 4 years ago. I go, oh, well, apparently. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm supposed to try and get a hold of the specialist. I can't get through to them. So it's like, whatever. I'll try again after I do this. And, well, without further ado, let me read this to you. This is Chapter 7, Berlin, 1942. The war was something that had barely touched their lives, and hadn't in months, or so it seemed, Martin thought. The bombing raids everyone seemed so fearful of never really materialized, at least not the way everyone thought they would. There had only been the 9 bombing raids all told since the war broke out. According to the Ministry of Public Enlightenment and Propaganda, such a pretentious name when Ministry of Lies would have done just fine, Martin thought. The bombing of British cities had been a huge success. The Luftwaffe had been the superior air force, and the British were back on their heels as a result. It's only a matter of time before the invasion of Britain is a reality, Dieter said. They were laying in bed, holding each other and sharing a cigarette. The Allies, their futile attempt at an invasion was a disaster, he went on. The biggest. Dunkirk's been the greatest German victory of the war, he added. And now the bombings. The Brits are doomed. And Martin nodded, agreeing. It was hard not to see it that way. Sitting up, Dieter was quick to say it was only a matter of time. But not only that, he said, getting out of the bed they'd spent the afternoon in. I've heard rumors. Martin watched him as he walked to the balcony window, standing naked for all the world to see, spreading his arms and embracing the last of the summer sun sinking into the west. He was thin, his buttocks so small his hips stuck out, and Martin could see where his ribs joined his spine. They'd spent the last 2 hours locked in an endless embrace, an endless kiss, and the passion had been intense. Dieter opened the window, and the sounds of the city sifted through the silk curtains. Martin thought he could hear a band playing somewhere. Rumors? What kind of rumors? Martin asked, distracted. A part of him wondered where Dieter got his information from, while the other part of him listened to the band in the distance. Hitler's turned on the Russians, he said over his shoulder. What do you mean, turned on them? Martin asked. Dieter turned and nodded briefly, looking out over the city again before closing the sheer curtains and facing him. Martin felt himself stir under the sheets as he looked at Dieter's profile, standing where the soft light was melting through the curtains. You know about the deal Ribbentrop made? Dieter asked. The non-aggression pact, of course. Goebbels was proud to sing the praises of the Reich with that one. Peace for 10 years, he was saying, or something like that. Yes, but there was another part of it that was never revealed. Well, it doesn't matter now, does it? We've launched the attack, he said. He added, sitting at the foot of the bed. But Russia? Why? If history's taught us anything, Russia's not a country you want to invade with winter coming. Ask Napoleon. Why? For the oil. We need oil. The Russians have it. Rather than make a trade agreement, why not just step in and rightfully take it? Rightfully? That's insane, Martin said, shaking his head. Only if we fail. You sound like you support this. Why wouldn't I? The war's going exactly the way they said it would. You mean rations and arrests? Martin said, sounding bleak. The rations are a temporary necessity. Temporary, Martin laughed. I went to Paris 2 weeks ago, remember? Do you know how long they've been on rations? 2 years. Who cares about the French? Must you be like that? Martin said. What? I like the French. And what about the arrests? You mean the Jews? Goebbels promised he'd clean the city and make it Jew-free. Does that include the homos? Those are the ones who were foolish enough to get caught. And you think they weren't being cautious? Is that it? Are we being cautious? It doesn't matter how careful you are if someone turns you in. Has anyone ever asked you why you haven't signed up yet? I tell them I had childhood polio. What? Polio? Don't you have to have medical records to prove that you did? What makes you think I don't? And where would you get those from, if you even have them in the first place? I'm an artist. And paint degenerate art you can't even sell. It doesn't matter, I'm still an artist. What is that even supposed to mean? It means I know other artists who forge papers. You do? I may be a lot of things, Martin, but I'm no fool, he said. Are you still painting? Are you still painting nudes, I mean? Male nudes? And what about your erotic prints? No one knows about those. I do. I told you. Martin sat back against the headboard, lit up another cigarette, and handed it to Dieter, who took a drag and passed it back. I'm going to have to get going soon. I have a rehearsal, and Beck doesn't like it when I'm late. When can I see you? You can see me anytime you want, Martin smiled. I mean, like this. I want to feel you inside of me. We have to be careful. I mean, with everything the way it is. Everything the way it is, Dieter smiled. I like that. Why don't you just come right out and say it? Why do you have to be like that? Martin asked, shaking his head. Like what? You know what I mean. How about this? Dieter asked, reaching his hand under the sheet and running it up Martin's thigh. Do you think if you get me hard, I'll stay longer? As if, but no. I'm thinking I can give you a hand job under the sheets and no one will be the wiser. As inviting as that sounds, no, Martin said, giving him the cigarette and sitting on the edge of the bed. No, Dieter asked, passing the cigarette back and looking at him. I told you, I have a rehearsal, Martin said, standing up. Dieter reached across the bed and Martin stepped back out of reach, so Dieter picked up the cigarette package instead, taking two out of the package for later. Since when did that ever matter? He asked, leaning back and lighting a third cigarette for himself. What about Annaliese? What about her? When are you going to marry her? You sound like my mother, Martin said. Martin was at a loss for words when it came to how he was supposed to respond to congratulations after a rehearsal. As much as he hated the National Socialists, he was still a proud German, and it was hard not to be a proud German when things were going well, he told himself. Beck said it was only natural that when things were going well, there'd be times when high-ranking officials would want to attend rehearsals in the spirit of celebration. He felt his heart rate pick up as he stepped off the stage and made his way down the center aisle. He saw Beck's familiar figure, but sitting beside him were Goebbels and Furtwängler, the conductor of the Berlin Philharmonic. A tall, thin, anxious man, Furtwängler had been the lead of the Philharmonic since 1922 and was a favorite conductor of Hitler's, and as a result, the National Socialists. Martin, Beck called out, look who's come to see you, it's Willie. Standing up, Furtwängler was quick to offer his hand, his smile genuine as he spoke. Well played, Martin, well played. I was telling her, Goebbels, how I conducted you in one of your first appearances on stage. Do you remember that? You were too young to realize you should have been nervous, he said with a laugh. I've learned how since. Believe me, Martin smiled, and Furtwängler laughed again. I don't know how Der Fuhrer does it at his rallies, Beck said, looking at Goebbels. I prefer conducting. You only have to look at the orchestra. Martin looked up. Annaliese was walking down the aisle toward him. He smiled, standing up, grateful for the welcome distraction, and hoping he'd be able to use her as an excuse to get away. He looked at her as she approached. Her face appeared unreadable. She was unsmiling. He could see her bottom lip quivering, a tremor that was ever so slight, but there. Furtwängler turned to look at her, as did Goebbels. Beck smiled. Annaliese, such a pleasant surprise, he said. She ignored him, choosing instead to face Martin and slap him. She waited, looking at him with tears in her eyes before she turned her back on him and walked away. Hell hath no fury, Goebbels said after a moment, watching Annaliese as she walked into the shadows. And there you go. Oh, what was that all about? I'm sorry I stumbled a few times in the beginning, but, well, you know, it is what it is. And as this is just a cold reading and I don't do retakes, you get what you get. I'm sorry. That's just the way it goes. Anyways, here we are. We're in chapter 7, and there's only at the most. Then I'm thinking, should I do a full reading of the full story when this is done? Put it on my booktube here, and just leave it. I don't know. I need to have some sort of feedback, but nobody seems to want to talk to me. That's just the way it is. Kind of like life. Anyways, I'll see you next week at the same bat time and the same bat channel, and make sure you tune in because we all like it that way. Alrighty, ciao and arrivederci.